Coming up on LUTV News, a former baseball player battles cerebral palsy, found out how he has not let it define who he is. Plus, a local St. Louis DJ is working harder than most DJs. His reason? To bring Indian culture to St. Louis. And there's a good chance you know someone who vapes, and we know why. Those stories and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Caleb Reardon. Once a multi-sport athlete, Nathan Briggs has lived his life with a mild form of cerebral palsy. Now Nathan refuses to let this define who he is. He's using hard work and going about his business like a regular person. Here's Luke McMahon with the story.
When you look at Nathan Briggs, people might not realize just how different his life has been growing up.
Yeah, so I have a cerebral palsy called spastic cerebral palsy. When I was born, a blood vessel popped in the right side of my head, limiting the mobility and use of the right side of my body, that being my arm and my leg mainly.
Even some of the simplest activities like tying your shoes or typing on a keyboard has forced Nathan to adapt to performing simple everyday tasks.
I mean, playing video games, I don't really have to adapt. I may have had to, but it was so far long ago that I don't really remember if I had to adapt. Tying shoes, it just took me a little longer to figure out what I could or how I could and couldn't tie my shoes. And typing on a computer, I just do it one-handed.
Not even cerebral palsy could keep Briggs from playing sports growing up. Sports like golf, basketball, and most notably his favorite sport, baseball.
So I played 4 years of varsity baseball in high school. When I was 15, I made Team USA, traveled with Team USA over to Japan, and was the only U.S.-born pitcher to win a game in Japan that era. Man, I played baseball, basketball, football, soccer. I bowled. Obviously, I was a collegiate bowler here at Lindenwood. Everything, really.
Briggs enjoys motivating other people who are in the same shoes as him. And he wants other people to start believing in themselves, just like he does in himself.
Oh, of course, I talk to people all the time, whether it be on social media, in person. Once they see me, they look at me, you can kind of tell that there's something going on. If you want to do something, do it. Don't hold back. I wanted to play baseball, so I taught myself how to catch, taught myself how to throw using one hand. Bowling kind of came easy because it was really all one-handed. I'm now playing golf from the time I was 20 to now. That's been a challenge because I'm also a left-handed golfer, so it's a little hard. I don't have muscle memory like some other people. If you want to do it and you do have something like cerebral palsy, go for it. There's always a way to do something, whether that be one-handed, whether you figure out your own way. You don't always have to imitate people.
For LUTV News, I'm Luke McMahon.
Nathan hopes he can be an inspiration for other people who are dealing with the same illness. He says hard work and determination allows him to accomplish what he wants and helps prove his doubters wrong. Art therapy is not your typical form of therapy. It's basically a medium for people to express their feelings through art. Video journalist Sandy Legumjorn has the story.
Not many people know what art therapy is and how it works. Art therapy involves the use of creative techniques such as drawing, painting, collage, coloring, or sculpting to help people express themselves artistically and examine the psychological and emotional undertones in their art. Marcela Tobar, an art therapy major from El Salvador, will explain what art therapy does and how it has helped her and others.
Decided to do art therapy as a major because I've always been very drawn to help people through art, and I've always seen myself as someone who tries to do art as a medium to help other people, because that's how I've dealt with stuff that I've gone through in the past. Art therapy is a new technique of therapy in which you use art as a medium to communicate with the person when like someone is unable to verbally express how they feel. So you teach them how to do art, and in the process you make sure that they are able to express to you and through their art whatever they're feeling or going through, or like their struggles.
Yes, I've heard about art therapy before, and I think it's a good way to express people's feelings because some people are not really good with words. I got to know about art therapy because I'm a psychology major, even though a lot of people are still unaware about it.
This triptych piece is called Silence Darkness, and it's a piece that I've made to express how victims of sexual assault might feel and what they go through. So it like expresses how like it starts from like being very light and how like it's stressful it can get to the point that you feel like you're overcome by darkness and that you can't say anything due to or all the pain that you've been through, or what people are going to say about you, or because people like have like a very specific opinion and about like this type of cases. So I was trying to express how you can get from a point of like light to dark very quickly and very soon if you don't say anything about how you feel. I think people who are struggling with mental illness, depending on what it is, I think art helps a lot with like patients who have PTSD. Because a lot of these people, it's like they're strong and they have been through a lot, but they're unable to verbally express it. So when you have these cases of people who are verbally unable to express what they feel, it's really hard to work with them. So art is a way for them to open up with you, not just through their words, but through their art. And you're able to connect with them at a deeper level in which they can trust you, they feel more comfortable with you if they're doing something while you're with them, rather than just talking to you when they've never met you in their life.
For LUTV News, I'm Sandy Licam-Jordan.
Art therapists must have a master's degree in art therapy from a program that is accredited by the American Art Therapy Association. Straight ahead on LUTV News, we meet a man trying to bring Indian culture to the St. Louis music scene. That's next.
How's your hair? Is it pretty?
Daddy.
It's pretty.
Maybe honestly.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do it like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. A good manager is hard to find, but for one store in St. Charles area, they have one of the youngest managers in their whole company taking charge. Our own Michael Bird works for this individual and got the story.
A good boss is rare sometimes. For some people, a good boss is someone that has had a lifetime of experience, but for some, a rare few even. A good boss is someone young and idealistic. Sam Casella is one of those people.
I became a shift leader within 7 months. I was an assistant for 4 months and then was a store manager. My brother was my store's crier rep selling us beer, and they said they needed help, and he said he could get me a job, so I applied and they hired me.
Sam has learned a lot even in the short time he has been working.
I had a couple wonderful managers, and I had a couple that They just wanted the money and the power, and that just showed me how I didn't want to be. Working with the good ones gave me the experience to become a good manager, and working with the not as good ones gave me the motivation to not be like that.
Being in his position at his age hasn't been too much of a hurdle, and he doesn't see himself climbing too quickly up the corporate ladder.
It's more of just a comment, more or less. Just saying, oh, how old are you? You don't look that old, and just having to explain it over and over and over again. Just something I've gotten used to over time. I mean, I like where I'm at right now. I didn't start in it for the money, and I don't want to take a promotion just solely based on the money. I like getting to work with people directly, and that's something as a store manager that I get to do that other positions do not get to do. Above me is mostly office positions that maybe one day that'll be the right fit, but for now that's not something I am looking to do.
He likes working with people, but like everyone, even he has to work with challenging people.
All the time there's always difficult people at work, in your personal life. It's just, you can't let stuff get you down too much. I mean, we live in a world that ain't perfect, so there's always going to be them people that rub you the wrong way. But how you respond to it is kind of who defines you. You gotta let it just roll off your back.
Sam is always happy to help everyone in need, at work and out in the world at large.
I like working with all people. I mean, when I'm not here, before I came back to this company, I spent a week in North Carolina helping hurricane victims clean up their houses and just let them know things were alright. Spent a week in Galveston, Texas, helping after Hurricane Harvey. And here in the next month or so, I'll be heading to Nebraska to help with the river flooding.
Sam Casella is young, but that doesn't mean he's naive. He takes on the world one day at a time, and that is better than most people in his position. For LUTV News, I'm Michael Bird.
Sam Casella is just 25 years old and has been in charge of 2 stores so far in his short career. Music is a crucial element in almost every culture. DJ Blaze, a local DJ, is trying to bring more Indian culture to St. Louis. Reporter Tyler Cohane followed him to one of his events for the story.
The Indian American community knows how to party. From flashing lights, glamorous jewelry, and loud music, there's got to be someone making it happen.
Hey, what's up guys, this is DJ Blaze from Blaze Entertainment.
He puts on massive shows and events for the Indian American community in St. Louis and beyond.
When I came to the States in 1999, I saw always my cousin, my older cousin, he's doing DJing and his friends were DJs, and I really liked the feel, how they were doing and everything.
He's turned his weekend hobby into a full-time gig. But big shows come with even bigger complexities.
Indian events a bit more demanding than the American events.
He faces challenges like DJing while pulling a cart, or DJing in the back of his moving van. In Hindu weddings, the groom's family celebrates what's called a barat, where the groom rides a decorated white horse and the party follows with dancing and music.
We do about 50 plus events a year.
But big shows come with even bigger complexities.
We want to grow not only in St. Louis or Midwest, we want to grow all over the United States, we are working on it. Day by day, it kept on growing and growing, and as of today, it's our full-time business, and we are the professional company now.
The complexities he faces never deters him from coming back even stronger the next week. For LUTV News, I'm Tyler Cohane.
Blaze Entertainment provides sound, music, lighting, and photo booths for events while celebrating Indian culture. For more information, visit djblazestl.com. Cigarette smoking is at an all-time low, but nicotine addiction is not. Next on LUTV News, we look at the growing popularity of vaping among college students.
domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
You said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Many people like to go to concerts, but Alejandro is different. He goes to concerts to complete his mission, to get his Venezuelan flag signed by artists. Here's LUTV's Sandy Lindenwood.
Alejandro Pena, a Venezuelan man who has been to 210 concerts starting from February 2008 until today. He collects drumsticks with artists' signatures, guitar picks, and lastly, he brings his Venezuelan flag to every concert he goes to get the artists to sign on it. He will be talking about his passion of going to concerts and how all these collections first started.
Okay, my very first concert was in 2007. It was My Chemical Romance. It was in my country, Venezuela. I went with a couple of friends and with my cousin. The things I collect is these things, the drumsticks from the bands. Also, I collect guitar picks that I call almost every single concert that I go to. Yes, that's like a project that I started 3 years ago. So in a way to represent my country here in the U.S., I take my flag every concert that I go and try to meet the members of a band, try them to sign the flag and take pictures with them using the flag.
Before I met him, I thought I used to go to a lot of concerts, and I was really proud. I was like, oh, I go to a lot of concerts. But then I met him, and I was like, wow.
I didn't start like in a exact point. I got my first guitar pick in 2010 when I went to Anthrax concert back in Venezuela. Since that day, I started getting picks every single concert that I have been to. Like a personal record, it was 46 concerts in 2016. It was here in Missouri. In my whole life, I don't know, I have been like in 250 concerts so far. Since I have been like in almost every single concert that I want to. I really want to go to see Muse or Iron Maiden. I have never seen them live. Since Iron Maiden is one of my favorite bands, I want to see them so bad. Autograph is kind of hard because like you have to have them willing to wait for the artist to wait to like go outside and say hi to you. You have a little chat with them, then ask for pictures and signatures. Or sometimes you can pay for the meet and greet with the bands, and it's an easier way, but you have to spend a little bit more money. I can say the most friendly, it was a band called Assuming We're Right. It's a really new band. It's like super underground. But like I have been like in 7 or 8 of their concerts, and they already know me. So every time that I go to the concert, we have chats like for 30 minutes, an hour.
For LUTV News, I'm Sandy Lindenwood.
Alejandro spent about $600 in a year on concert tickets. Across the U.S., nicotine addiction among the younger generation has doubled in recent years. Evidence suggests it's because of vaping devices called Juuls. Reporter Tyler Cohane has the story.
Vaping, and more specifically juuling, has become more popular in the past few years. Why? I asked Dr. Cavazos Reg, an associate professor at the Washington University in St. Louis. She studies the effects of vaping on the developing brain.
Non-smokers are using these products and not realizing that they're ingesting nicotine. And nicotine is as addictive as heroin and cocaine, so it is a very, harmful substance.
Juul, specifically, is popular because of its sleek design and discreet smoke plume. Younger people can hide it from their parents and teachers, unlike older designs of e-cigarettes.
Juuls in particular are heavily advertised on social media. And the other issue is that kids are seeing their peers use these products.
Juul is called the iPhone of e-cigarettes. Its technologically advanced design attracts young people, like the iPhone does. And it really isn't that far off. One of the co-founders of Juul, Adam Bowen, worked for Apple.
Young people are attracted to technology. The other concerning aspect about Juuls is the flavors. There's a lot of flavors that are out there that are appealing to young people. So regular cigarettes cannot be sold in different flavors, and that's because flavoring makes a product more appealing to young people. And so now that's a restriction against regular cigarettes, but that is not a restriction of e-cigarettes.
However, Juul is allegedly taking steps to prevent youth from beginning to vape. Whether vaping is helping smokers quit or not, it's creating an entire new culture of nicotine addiction. For LUTV News, I'm Tyler Cohane.
Though Juul is taking steps to prevent vaping, Cavazos Reg says it isn't enough. Up next, we will take a look at two people who are now seeing Mother's Day a little differently than they have in the past.
To me, I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice, she's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow, even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah, I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Welcome back. Mother's Day is coming up on May 12th. Our Taylor McDaniel sat down with two people to get their unique perspectives on the special day we honor our mothers.
Mother's Day is quickly approaching. For many, this is just a day to celebrate their mothers, but for others, it has grown to mean much more than that.
I was 35 years old when my mother passed away. We were very, very close. I was at her house daily. I only lived like 2 blocks from her after I got married, and I saw her every single day. We were very, very close. We went places together, ate dinner at her house almost every night. I was just there all the time, so when she passed away, it was pretty sudden, and it was devastating. Every year when it's Mother's Day, it's kind of sad for me because I see all the things in the store and I think, oh, I'd like to get that for my mom, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have a mom to give this to. So it's really sad, and I miss her. People say that grief goes away over time, but it doesn't. I miss her just as much today as I did day one. Nowadays, celebrating Mother's Day is a lot more fun. After having 2 daughters myself to celebrate with, it makes Mother's Day a lot more meaningful and takes the sting away of not having a mother.
One son's mother developed a brain tumor a few years back. This made him realize just how special this day is.
A few years ago, my mom had a brain tumor and had to go to the hospital. And it just kind of made me realize how I've been taking for granted the fact that I had such a wonderful mom. So now Mother's Day is really important to me because it's a chance to celebrate how great she is. She's always supported my goals and dreams. For the past few summers, I've been working at the Philmont Scout Ranch. I want to go and work for the Boy Scouts professionally, and that's their largest camp. It's about 1,000 miles away from here. And actually last summer she was able to come out and visit me. One of my favorite memories of Christmas is we get out all our ugly Christmas sweaters and put them on and decorate the house. No one actually wants to help decorate, but we all end up doing it anyways and having a good time. I have 2 brothers that are off doing their own things in life, so it's not very common for all of us to be able to get home and have a just regular family meal together or anything like that. My dad just got a job down at a camp in Arkansas. It's called Camp Mitchell. So him and my mom are going to be moving down there pretty soon. I'm staying here in the St. Louis area. So they're going to be about 6 hours away. So this next Mother's Day is going to be pretty special because it's one of the last ones that we'll easily be able to spend together as a family. I love my mom very much. She's amazing. She always encourages me to be the best that I can be.
Whatever you do this Mother's Day, make sure you thank yours for everything she has done. With LUTV News, this is Taylor McDaniel.
Many celebrate Mother's Day, but the holiday was not officially recognized until 1914, thanks to Anna Jarvis, who created the holiday. That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Caleb Reardon. Thanks for joining us.